There's plenty of support for growing businesses in Pennsylvania, but it's not always easy to find. The Commonwealth is out to improve that infrastructure with a new partnership approach, and one key point of focus will seek to identify and accelerate the growth of companies that are having a disproportionate impact on employment in the Commonwealth. How it's going to work and what it's going to mean to the company you run or work for? Well, Petra is here to talk about it. She's president and CEO of Catalyst Connection. Albert Ciuksza is director of the Pittsburgh Impact Initiative and a colleague of mine at the Allegheny Conference, which co-produces this program. Welcome. Good to see both of you.
Nice
Welcome back, Petra.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well, first let's talk a little bit about the state's new effort to what? Encourage all the economic development entities that we have to work more effectively together?
Yeah, that's correct, Bill. The state program is called the Partnership for Regional Economic Performance, and it's really a collaboration of the economic development and workforce providers in our community working together to make sure that businesses' needs are met. And really the idea is to collaborate, to provide excellent customer service, but at the end of the day, it's all about the businesses. What do they need, and how can we work together to serve and meet those needs?
Now, we have a lot of capacity in the region to help businesses, do we not?
We do. We have over 30 organizations involved in our partnership, so some of them are very locally based at the county level or even at the community level. And then some organizations, some of the partnerships like Catalyst Connection and the Pittsburgh Regional Alliance, we're more regional, so we can serve businesses in a variety of counties and communities.
But you got to get the word out, and the businesses have to find you. And Albert, I know you've been reaching out to a lot of these really higher growth businesses, I guess is one way to think about them in the region. And what do you find when you sit down and talk with these companies which are already creating jobs? Do they know about this infrastructure? Are they leveraging all the support that's available?
Well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. One of the things that came out of the research that was pioneered sort of by the Department of Community Economic Development and the Team PA Foundation was that about 25% of the companies that they had identified in this high growth research had actually interacted with their local economic development organizations. So we've certainly found organizations that have heard of the partnership and people who participate, but oftentimes this is kind of new information, really an opportunity to help them in areas of growth that they may not have known about before.
Okay, and when we're talking about one of these impact companies, as the Pittsburgh Regional Alliance has identified, what are we talking about exactly?
We're talking about a group of companies that was identified at state level research that are fewer than 1% of the total number of companies within the region, but produce about 75% of the jobs. So they're disproportionately impacting the economy. And again, because very few of them, or about 25% of them, have actually interacted with economic development, we see an opportunity potentially to work with them and help connect them to resources very centrally through the PrEP partnership to help them to continue that growth path.
Well, we always hear that small and mid-sized businesses are creating most of the jobs. It now appears that a subset of them are creating even more jobs. If you could somehow capture that group and accelerate them even more, it could be an expanential impact in terms of what can happen.
That's right. So we're targeting manufacturing as one of the key targets, obviously, and we know that every manufacturing job stimulates a significant number of jobs in the service sector and other elements of our economy. So that's definitely a focus, in addition to the technology base and service providers that Albert and his research have identified.
These impact companies cut across industries too. Petra mentioned the high tech, and we all have that sort of idea that it was the technology companies that are these gazelles, but are you finding it across lots of different industries?
It's the statewide data shows that about 63 of the 75 different industries are represented by impact companies. And the way that I have kind of described it is that when you talk about tech or life sciences, you're talking about companies that are marketing and innovation, whereas what we're also seeing out of this group is that they're innovating their operations. They're seeing opportunities within their industries that sometimes other people may not see, and they're translating that into growth within their business. So what's exciting about these companies is that it's really the firm dynamics that are growing those firms, not necessarily just sectors or where they're based, because they're actually roughly correlated to population within a county. So it's not necessarily just they're all concentrated in Allegheny County, which I think people may assume. It really does correlate well with what the population is.
So how do people find out more about this new partnership structure or impact in particular?
Well, the Impact program, I'm sure Albert will tell you how to access that, but certainly callusconnection.org is a great place to start, particularly if you're a manufacturing company. Also, your local county-based economic development organization is another great place to start to gain entrance into our regional economic partnership.
Okay, so the hope is there's no wrong door.
No
you can
wrong
go to
door.
any one of these partners, and if they can't help you, they're going to point you in the right direction.
Exactly.
And of course, Albert, you're going to be reaching out yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And trying to plug them in.
PittsburghImpact.org, and certainly we're ramping up outreach efforts going into 2012. So
All right.
really
Well, it's exciting. A lot of potential. Region's doing okay compared to so many other places, but we can obviously all do a lot better, and we'd like to do
Absolutely.
that. Petra Mitchell from Catalyst Connection, Albert Ciuksza from the Pittsburgh Impact Initiative. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah. And we'll be back in a minute with a little dollars and cents. Stay with us.